Hello everyone, welcome to Meatster, and thank you for joining me here on this video. And today we have a really comforting, delicious, slow cooked lamb shoulder ragu with penne. And it's a really comforting dish. I enjoy this one a lot. So you need half a shoulder of lamb, and you're just going to season that up with plenty of salt, some smoked paprika and pepper, and also some herbs. I've got dried thyme and oregano, and then plenty of olive oil. And you want to cover, the whole shoulder and get the seasoning all around it. You don't want to put too much on in case it burns. So you're going to put it in the oven at a high temperature, say 200 fan, for about 20 minutes, and it will come out with some colour on it like this. And after that, you're going to turn the oven down to about 130 fan, and then you're going to cover it with foil. It will go in there for about 3 to 3.5 hours, but depending on the piece of lamb itself, which could have more fat or more sinew, it could even take a little bit longer, so you're going to have to be a bit flexible. You can make it ahead of time though. It should be cooked enough and soft enough to just fall apart with a fork. Actually, when I was forking this one, I thought probably could have done with about another 20 minutes or so, but I didn't have time, unfortunately. But it still did the job, and that's a great thing with this ragu. When you put it into the sauce, when you put the lamb into the sauce, it's going to be really tender anyway when it soaks up all of the juices. So just shred it, and then you can also cut it down into slightly smaller pieces like I'm doing here. You don't want massive mouthfuls of lamb. This should coat the pasta, and that way you won't ever get any massive mouthfuls unexpectedly. Okay, so now we're going to make the ragu. So cook down some red onions for about 5 minutes, and then add some carrot and celery and some more dried herbs. Again, oregano here, and also some thyme. These work really well with the lamb and the tomato. So we're just going to keep cooking those down. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes, and then you add some mushrooms. These are just some large chestnut mushrooms. There's about 4 of them there. There was 1 carrot and there was 1 celery stick, which were relatively finely chopped. Keep cooking it down. Obviously, you want to get a little bit of caramelization. Let it catch on the pan here and there in little places. It will just add more flavour as you go along. Obviously, season as you go along too, and then add 4 large cloves of garlic. These are really large cloves, but it gives that sweet garlic flavour when it's slowly cooked. Don't burn the garlic. Put it in, relatively near the end of the cooking time for these vegetables. So this went for about 20 to 25 minutes, and then the tomatoes went in. Those were 3 medium-sized tomatoes. Get them as ripe and delicious as you can. And then I close the lid for a while here, and that just helps to break the tomato down. I also put in some lamb stock. Now, the lamb stock I buy is a homemade one that I buy. So it's really good quality, but if you can't get lamb stock, then chicken stock would work well, or even vegetable stock. And here is some tomato paste. As much as you like. I like quite a concentrated tomato flavour, so I put in a decent amount. That was probably about 4 tablespoons worth. You want to let tomato paste cook down a little bit. It just gets more flavoursome, should I say, as it's cooked more. And you're just going to keep putting in a bit of the stock here and there. I've got a tin of good crushed tomatoes in there, and a little bit more of the stock. Really, the longer you've got to cook this down slowly, the better. Overall, I think I cooked for about an hour this ragu, but it could go longer. Keep tasting as you go along. Add a little bit of salt here and a little bit of pepper, and if you want more of a herb flavour, you can always add in more of the dried herbs. And then there's the shredded lamb. It goes in when you've got about 10 minutes or so left, 10-15 minutes left, and you want to make sure it's covered completely by the sauce, and it will start to break down a little bit, and the strands will sort of fall apart. Add the last bit of ragu, and that will give you, a good 10-15 minutes for you to reduce that and make it as delicious as possible. I put the lid on here just to increase the heat and to get it working a bit faster. You can see I added some more salt there. I did actually add a dessert spoon of sugar at one point, so that's something if you taste and you want a little bit more richness, you can add that. And then just to finish off with some green peas. Peas and lamb go really well together. And there you go, simple as that. You can use any type of pasta that you like. I just think it works well with one that's shaped like this. Get some parmesan on there. And then if you really want to finish it off and make it delicious, I'm going to put some chopped parsley on here. And as much or as little as you like. Chopped parsley really adds a freshness to it. Otherwise with the lamb you could get that slightly earthy flavour, but this just gives it more of vibrancy. And enjoy! It's just one of those simple, comforting meals to sit around with your family, and that's what we did. We really enjoyed it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video and you go and use this recipe, so please subscribe for future recipes. Cheers!